welcome to the video. This one is about extending a thread that was launched by Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed, and passed on by Mike at MGK Boston. And I was watching his video just yesterday. And Chris's challenge to everyone is to continue this thread by nominating 5 songs that are about rain or have rain in the title or rain in the lyrics. So here's 5 songs and 5 albums that contain them. So the first one I'm going to pick, I've tried to avoid the usual suspects, but we'll see. The first one is from Little Criminals by Randy Newman. I like Randy Newman, brilliant songwriter. And he's got this strange voice, a strange singing voice that not everybody gets away with, but I do like it. And of course, he's super clever. So his lyrics are always interesting. But this one from Little Criminals in 1977 is Riders in the Rain. So a great song from a great artist. Number 2 is from 1988, and it's by one of those female singer-songwriters who doesn't come from a folk tradition or a country tradition, but it's one of those artists that were kind of all the rage in the late 80s and early 90s, where the music industry got behind these female singers and gave them kind of heavy production. So it's kind of pop, but not quite pop. So it's kind of adult pop, I suppose, adult orientated pop. But anyway, Tony Childs is one of those artists, and she's definitely worth checking out. She's got a kind of a strange voice. It's kind of as I suggested there. It's kind of big, kind of a big production often. Um, and she sings about things like domestic abuse and so on. So it's kind of adult theme stuff. This is her debut, Union, and she's got this. I say this voice of hers is kind of from the throat. It's kind of guttural, really. So it's kind of a bit of an acquired taste. But the track on this album is the closer on side 1, which is "Let the Rain Come Down." She's definitely worth checking out. I don't think this is her best album. Um, the follow-up, the second album, is it called House of Hope? That's the one to get. I think I really enjoyed that one, but I don't think she's still performing now. But I've not been following her career for a long time. Rain. What is it about rain that kind of inspires all of these artists? And I think it's something to do with the. It kind of suggests a certain melancholy. And here I am sitting in this room here, looking out onto a rainy afternoon, and you can definitely kind of easily settle into that reflective, melancholic vibe. And this song is by an artist who's from the northeast of England, who was around in the 80s. I think this song was this from this album was around 1985, 86. I used to see him a lot. He's kind of a musical troubadour. He's kind of imagine acoustic guitar, bit of a band backing often, but not always. He wears a hat that Mazzy would be proud of. And this guy is called Martin Stevenson. And this is his debut album. It's by Martin Stevenson and the Dainties. So they used to just do a lot of gigs back in the Northeast. I saw them a lot in Newcastle. But I only saw him just about 3 or 4 years ago, still treading the boards, as it were, in Birmingham. He's still fabulous. Tells great stories. But this debut album called Boat of Bolivia, he's got a track on it simply called Rain. And just to kind of illustrate that melancholy vibe here, the opening verse says, "Between lightning and thunder, 3 seconds a gap. A warm candle glow keeps the wood room from black. This wood room from black. My cat, she sleeps on an old clippy mat, purring out echoes of faint pitter pat." Um, and the choruses goes, "As the rain pours down in the yard, rain a most haunting sound. Rain makes beautiful music, and rain brings peace upon all whom it falls." Great, great singer, great song. And he says at the bottom here in these notes about the song, written in summer '85 during one of those black, heavy, thundery storms you get. In fact, it had finished before the storm ended, as it took me 20 minutes to write, 10 minutes to record, and 10 minutes to mix, which adds up to 40 minutes altogether. This is my most favorite song. And this is the precise date of the album. Anyway, mid 1980s. And that was just him and an acoustic guitar, and it's beautiful, really beautiful. This is maybe one that's a lot of people are familiar with, and this is It Never Rains, which is the closing song on Dire Straits' Love Over Gold. Fantastic album, apart from Industrial Disease, which opens side 2. And finally, this is by Mark Armand from the EP A Woman's Story, Some Songs to Take to the Tomb. Now, Mark Armand, you know, he was with Soft Cell. Not really a bit, I wasn't a huge fan of Soft Cell, the kind of the overt sexual stuff. Was kind of not to my taste, really, but he's a wonderfully experimental singer, crooner, if you like. Um, he's continued to produce really interesting albums, and he's a really interesting character. But this is a little mini compilation of cover songs, and he's got on here a couple of notables: Scott Walker's "The Plague," um, "A Salty Dog" from Procol Harum, "Just Good Friends" by one of my favorites, Peter Hamill, Lee Hazelwood's "For One Moment," and the rain-themed one, "The Little White Cloud That Cried" by Johnny Ray, which is a favorite of my mother's from the 1950s, I guess. "The Little White Cloud That Cried." So there you go. That's 5 songs, 5 really good songs from interesting artists on the theme of rain. So why don't you do 5? See you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.